Hello YouTube, my name is the Legend of DS, and welcome to another video about the Nintendo NX, and the first one that I make in a month, basically. E3 was a month ago, actually, so yeah. In the first video in a month, and the title of the video is like the title, it's what the thumbnail says, the picture on screen says, and the title says, can Nintendo pull a Zelda Breath of the Wild or a Pokemon Go with the Nintendo NX? Now, you might be wondering, what do you mean by that? What I mean by that, it's actually very simple. Right now, the Nintendo NX is very much like Zelda and Pokemon Go were about 2 months ago, a month and a half ago. That is, nobody's expecting much from it. Zelda Breath of the Wild, there were two camps. The Zelda fans that were excited to see it and knew they were going to buy it either way. And there were the people that were just like, Nintendo can't do anything nowadays, so why do I care? Why should I care about this? And it's not going to be anything special. And obviously there were also Zelda fans in this camp that were hateful towards Nintendo, calling people like Eiji Aonuma, the producer of the game, um, as lazy. Some of them even called them lazy. I saw people on the internet saying that. And Pokemon Go was, and now, I should say it like that, now we have, it's been, the game was at E3, was the biggest thing at E3, the biggest thing in 10 years, actually. Don't believe me? It's the first time in 10 years, the first time since the Wii, that people in the final day of E3 ran to go grab a piece of the game to play it. That's the first time since the Wii. Okay, and the Wii, as we all know, was the dominating force of the last console generation. Uh, and even then, if we continue with this, Pokemon Go is the same thing. Nobody was expecting. Pokemon fans and Nintendo fans were expecting it to be big. They were expecting it to be a good thing that was going to make a lot of money for the people involved, and it was going to be somewhat big. But this is bigger than people thought it was going to be. It just exploded in like, it's been 5 days? It has launched in America, New Zealand, Australia, and it blew up right away. It's now out in Germany, and today it came out in the UK. Hey, don't forget about us, Nintendo, and I hope it's available for Windows Phone, because that's the thing that I have, so I'm gonna have to wait a little bit. But that's beside the point. The point is, not only it blew up, it's increased Nintendo's value on the marketplace, the stock market. I don't know, increased Nintendo's company value. It has increased the awareness of the brand of Nintendo and of Pokemon. Right now it was speculated a couple days ago, or yesterday, that Universal or Legendary Pictures were very close to get the Pokemon movie license, live action movie license, which is something that we've never seen, and it's big again. So my question now is, can Nintendo replicate what these two individual games created with the Nintendo NX? And I think it's very much possible. It's not just very much possible now. It was possible like 2 weeks ago, but now it's very much almost a guarantee because of Pokemon Go. Nintendo, and I know Nintendo's a smart company, they're gonna strike when the iron is hot. And when we already have rumors that Nintendo's going to unveil the NX next month on Gamescom. Now think about this for a second. We are in the middle of July. There's still a month to go until then. If Nintendo plays their cards right and releases Pokemon Go in other countries, and in the middle of launching in other countries, they release an update that includes the new generation, or includes battles with other people, includes training, includes a friend system, people start to become more aware of it, and they start to continue to build an install base there. And can you imagine, like, the reports already are that it's at surpassed 10 million downloads on Android. So let's say that 5 million people have actually installed it and are out there playing it. Let's say that happens. Let's say that 5 million people just on Android and just in the United States are playing it. 5 million people, and these 5 million, let's say like 2%, like 2 million, not 2%, 2 million own Pokemon, own a Nintendo system. They might or might not know about the NX, and if Nintendo says, hey, check out our Gamescom press conference, or something to that effect, where we're going to be unveiling a new system, that immediately, or after it's done, sending those people the same message of like, hey, there's been an update and celebration of Nintendo's revealing of the NX, you get this item. That could actually be a pretty big thing that Nintendo and should and most likely will take them to the next level. A lot of people, like I said, are already on the side of Nintendo cannot do anything with the NX. The NX is gonna flop. I personally think it's gonna be a success. It's gonna be a hit, mainly because of the launching with Zelda Breath of the Wild, and with the possibility of having Mario Kart in May and 3D Mario in December or November. That's three titles and something and other things obviously in the middle, because you need it to build an install base, which could be great. Now obviously there's another side of the argument regarding the NX. There's the people that are excited for it. That's people like me that just want to see the damn thing. The people that think it's going to be a major flop, and the others that think it's going to be a major flop, and that Nintendo will. It's the last-ditch effort of Nintendo to say we are here in the home console market. I'm going to address these people with a very quick statement. That is, there's a famous picture floating around on the internet. There's been around for years that how much games are broken down into who gets with each piece. The only part of that piece of pie, let's put it that way, that I believe is the percentage that goes to developers of games, because they already get paid. But if you look at that, you see that between royalties and between the pieces of pie, I don't believe actually are the developer and the marketing, because that depends, and there's all for the same company, so it doesn't matter. But if we go, and marketing budgets vary from game to game, but if you look at that picture, and you'll see like between paying a royalty to Sony or Microsoft, and between paying a royalty to the fees for a retailer, and then on the PlayStation Store and an Xbox Live Arcade, you have to also pay a little bit to them licensing fees to be able to have the store. The idea of Nintendo going third party and they would make a lot more money on it makes absolutely no sense because of that. Because you can't, and it's absolutely true, you can't just say they make more money if they go third party, even though Mario Kart, for example, sold 6 million. Let's go with 6 million at $60. You have to remove 30%, if I'm not mistaken, of that to put things to because of retail, the percentage that retail takes. So if we remove 30% of that, Nintendo would get from each piece sold for $40. Now you multiply that by, I don't know, the 6 million mark, and that's a $252 million. Now how much of that how much, and that's not even counting how much money they would make from actually from digital sales and the DLC. But if we have to remove another 30% of this, or 15% of this, to third parties, how much would Nintendo need to sell? Another 15% at least on both combined. It makes no sense, and not to mention that Nintendo also makes money from this little thing called hardware, so the sales would obviously increase. That's one of the biggest flaws of the Nintendo needs to go third party. The other one is, I want to play Metroid, but I want to play Metroid on the PS4. Well, if Nintendo goes third party, you will only see Zelda, Mario, Pokemon, Mario Kart, and Smash Brothers. And now Splatoon, because it's a big hit. Outside of that, you won't see any Nintendo games, or many Nintendo games. You won't see any Nintendo games outside of these. And I think I've covered all the major ones that Nintendo would push consistently. And that's, I mean, as a Nintendo fan, as a gaming fan, that would be a shame. As a Nintendo fan, it would be an even bigger shame. That's really beside the point. Another great example, now that I think about it, for Nintendo, another great analogy is Portugal in the Euro 2016 tournament that just happened. It finished on Sunday. Portugal won against the home team France in the in Paris in the Stade de France. That was big, and throughout all the tournament, Portugal was the team that couldn't do it. Portugal was the team that didn't deserve. Portugal was the team that everybody, and especially the French, criticized for being too weak and undeserving. That feels a lot like Nintendo. Nintendo is the side that can't do it. Nintendo is the side that can't just win. It's the weak link. It doesn't deserve. Heck, the Wii was the victory that they didn't deserve. You know, even though the people that say the Wii was a fad and didn't, that Nintendo was very lucky with it, completely ignore the fact that the P and they say because it was a fad because the Wii U didn't sell that many. It's like, well, if you go look to the past, and you'll see that the PS3 would have not done 80 million without, and the Xbox 360 would have not done 80 million without the fads, you know, without having the motion controls. And the reason, and another reason for it getting that, and the reason why GTA 5 even came to those systems, was that the install base grew so rapidly because of the motion controls, of the Kinect, of the Move. People like to talk shit about it, but they were actually pivotal in the long-term success of both systems. And that's the two biggest reasons why PS3 and Xbox 360 sell so well. And if the Wii was a fad because Wii U was not that hot in the market, then what was the PS2? A major fad because the PS3 flopped pretty hard. It was a financial mistake, and again, without the Move, probably would have been a big commercial failure. I mean, people like to talk about other things. Um, so I don't get it. I don't get this side mentality that Nintendo is not going to do great. Another thing that the NX has going for it is that right now there's rumors, unfounded rumors, and there's many rumors out there, but the most unfounded rumor of all is the Emily Rogers one that people keep basing it on for Nintendo's failure with the NX. That is, NX is not powerful, and then they hear the whole Nintendo Reggie Fils-Aimé said it's not about power for us, it's about content, which makes no sense. When then take that and say, like, see, Emily Rogers was right. Nintendo is not going for power. Yeah, let's go with that over those statements. First and foremost, Emily Rogers said that the NX was not going to go for power and will not be as powerful as the PS4. Right, right. Let's analyze that first. First and foremost, there's a big clue as to why that's not true. Apart from the fact that she hasn't gotten a leak right this year that wasn't supported by anyone else. Here's the thing. She was the one that said Paper Mario, alongside other people, that Paper Mario would be coming to the Wii U. Mother 3 would be coming to the Wii U this year, and even said, don't be surprised if they celebrate the 10th anniversary, and that Zelda would be, most characters will be voice acted. It would be on the Nintendo Wii U and the Nintendo NX, and that the female playable character would be in the game. So let's review these statements. Paper Mario, the only one that was with other people at the same time, truthful. Mother 3, many others came forth and said we have the same sources that say yes, it's coming, we can confirm. But this was a rumor from her and her alone, that she said don't be surprised if they celebrate the 10th anniversary. The 10th anniversary with a picture of a Mother character. Now, Mother 3 launched in Japan on April 20th. Today it's July 14th, and Mother 3 has not come out on the Virtual Console for Europe or the United States, so that one fell flat. Now let's go to the third and final one, Zelda. Female playable character doesn't exist. Fully voice acted, with most characters being acted. No. Only a small number of characters and only important moments of the story will be voice acted. It's coming to the Wii U and the NX. Yay! That's a good point for her, except the vast majority of people were already predicting that after the Zelda was delayed from 2015 to 2017, 2015 to 2016, literally 10 days after they announced the NX. So, you do the math. So, and another point that goes to against her rumor, or against what she said, is the way the Nintendo acted. The Wii was not more powerful than the Xbox 360 or the PS3. It wasn't on par with them, but it was more powerful than the PS2 and the Xbox, the original Xbox, which, by the way, GameCube was stronger than the PS2 when it was weaker than the Xbox. So, you know, it was in the middle, and the Wii was stronger than all. It was weak for the console generation that it was in, but it was stronger than the previous generation. The Wii U is the same thing, more powerful than the PS360, but weaker than the X41 or PX41. I don't know how to describe this generation. The 4 and the 1, that's ridiculous. But that's it. They were weaker. The new console was weaker. The Wii U was weaker than its new current generation counterparts, but stronger than its previous generation counterparts. So the NX, it's a generation above the Wii U, meaning it's not the generation of the PS3, the PS4 and Xbox One, meaning it's more powerful. It's going to be more powerful. It's the way Nintendo acts. Kimishima said that the NX will not be a Wii or Wii U or the DS and the 3DS. Now, what the not being the DS or the 3DS could be just it's not a handheld, which it isn't, and not being a Wii or a Wii U, what were the Wii and the Wii U? Consoles that weren't powerful. So the NX was already going to have most likely that on it. But even if we take what Emily Rogers said as factually correct, and the NX is not more powerful than even the Xbox One, is there any reason to say that Nintendo is not going to be profitable or going to sell well on the market? No, because it depends on the price of the system. If the system is what I think it is, where Nintendo's going to take the gamepad, going to resize it, going to put graphics powerful enough out there that look like the Xbox One on par with it at the very least, a smaller gamepad, and it's easy to port. And third parties are not going to say like, oh, it's easy to port, we're not doing it. I mean, if it's easy to port and they can make a quick buck, they're going to do it. It's a no-brainer. We already know that Dragon Quest, Final Fantasy are coming. Yes, they never said directly it's coming, but let's be honest. Final Fantasy is coming to the Xbox One, and Square Enix wants to sell the game in Japan, and the NX, even if it's a commercial flop, is going to sell more than the Xbox One did in Japan in a day than the Xbox One will do in its lifetime. The Xbox One hasn't even reached 100,000 units in Japan. So I probably rambled on way too much, and even why Nintendo shouldn't go third party, but that's beside the point. Thing is, don't think that just because the Wii U didn't work out, that the NX, and that Nintendo has been very quiet about the NX, that it automatically means that they're not confident or that it's not going to be good. Expect a lot. The reason why I say expect a lot is because if you go into the I'm not expecting much, so if we don't get anything, I won't get disappointed. It's a bad thing to do. Not for you, but for the company themselves. Because if a company's if you don't have something that you want, it's like a system doesn't have a lot of the things that you want. I'm not saying like, oh, it doesn't have voice chat with strangers. I'm disappointed. Nintendo should. I mean, I'm not buying this. I mean, who uses that anymore? Practically nobody. I mean, my brother plays GTA 5 all the time on the PS4 on rooms and on missions with stuff full with people and nobody talks. He rarely has to go like mute somebody. And that's really saying something. That's GTA 5, the biggest game on the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 3. My brother also played the hell out of GTA 5 on the PS3, and he rarely had to mute people. And if you say also like it doesn't have achievements, I'm not buying it. That's petty and that's ridiculous. By the way, I think it's gonna have achievements just by going by Nintendo. My Nintendo. But that's the thing, and that's you have to expect a lot. So when you're disappointed, you tell Nintendo that you're disappointed, so they can improve. If you're like, oh, this is a good system, better than I expected, Nintendo is not gonna change. They're gonna be like, oh, we did the right thing. We just need to keep on going. So basically, summarizing the video, too long, didn't watch. Nintendo might, I think that's a very high possibility, that Nintendo is going to have, going to break, the NX is going to be a big thing and follow the footsteps of Breath of the Wild and Go, because those were things that a lot of people were not expecting much, turn out to be phenomenal. One is the biggest thing since sliced bread, could we say? I mean, it's beating records and breaking records on the United States, in the United States alone. And Breath of the Wild, people were not expecting much, and it became the most talked about thing at E3, the biggest thing at E3 in 10 years, and the second biggest thing at E3 like ever. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.